you actually need to surround yourself with people that can provide you perspectives and insights so that you have the knowledge you need to show up in a way that people see you for your potential.
Welcome. I'm Marcia Upson with Insights with Marcia. And today we have an extremely special guest, Ellen Bailey. And Ellen, why don't you just tell us about yourself? What all?
Sure. So I've been living in Texas for over 25 years, originally from St. Louis, Missouri. And I have to say, St. Louis and Texas, polar opposites, really digging my experience here in Texas, I have to say. But I would say that the majority of my career has really been in learning and development. I've worked for Harvard Business Publishing for many years. I now work for McKesson in executive development. So kind of that learning space is my jam. And so I would say that's been the majority of my career. And on a personal note, I'm kind of competitive. So I like all things sports and fast cars and love to travel and all of those things. And one kind of unique fun fact is I didn't meet my husband until we were in our 40s, and neither of us had ever been married. We didn't have kids, and so we connected, and so that's been probably the biggest joy of the past probably 15 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm thrilled to be here today. Thank you.
Yeah. Is your husband a Texan?
My husband is a Texan.
All right. So
So
maybe
all
you'll
things
stay.
Cowboys, yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I joke that he is an Aggie, but he was in the Corps, so he's like extra Aggie. So that's a whole nother level
Oh,
of
no, we have a
commitment.
connection. My late husband who passed, anyway, he was in the Corps,
Yes,
but he was at the Maritime Academy in Galveston. And I want to tell you now.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have to talk more about
Yeah,
that.
giggle
Yes, we have boots on
Maggies.
display in our house. It's a thing.
Oh,
Yes.
it's very much a thing. Yeah, giggle Maggies. Oh, well, this is fabulous news.
That's
Something I
great.
didn't know about you. Awesome, awesome. So you have done so much in your life, and you've helped so many people find passion and purpose, and just really understand themselves and be more than they really wanted to be.
Mhm.
But I feel like for all of us, our early years really do impact who we become and how we do that. So growing up in St. Louis, what
Yes.
were your early years like?
Sure. And by the way, I still have a lot of family and friends there. So
Don't
So
burn any
I kind of,
bridges.
I just kind of poke at it a little bit because I would say that the culture and the vibe, honestly, of like St. Louis and most of Texas are just very different. And I think that uh, when I was in St. Louis, it's very, while it's racially diverse from a numbers perspective, it's very segregated. So you have different neighborhoods and people need to live in different neighborhoods. And so my family's all still in like the same neighborhood, and so they love it because they can walk to each other's houses and all this stuff. But I am also biracial, and so I identify as Black. And so I was always the only pretty much everywhere I went based on where we lived. And so while I love that, and I shouldn't brag, but I will, that I think my parents hung the moon, they are awesome, the unconditional love. So inside our four walls was great. I thought I could do anything. I was so special. But the minute I walked out of those four walls, it was brutal. And so while that was a tough lesson growing up and it was very difficult, what I will say is it totally molded who I am today. So I actually, even for many years, had a St. Louis print up in my house in Texas because I always wanted to remember my roots and where I came from and how it helped make who I am today. But I don't know, I think that's where that little competitiveness and fighting comes from a little bit because it's like, no, I'm going to win. Like I'm going to persevere. Like I'm not going to let people get me down.
Right, right. And I know what you mean because I have some neighbors on my street from St. Louis, and I've been surprised
Yes,
at
yeah.
very cliquish
Yes.
or something like
Yes,
that.
and even everybody, when you meet somebody from the Midwest, or especially from St. Louis, they're like, what high school did you go to?
Yes.
Because it's like
Yes.
that like puts you in a box or puts you in a group, and it's like, I don't know why it really matters. Like,
Right.
let's get to know each other a little bit. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's an interesting place, and people love it. and that's fine, but, I really enjoy being here.
Yeah. Okay. So that was your early years.
Mhm.
We go through different seasons and different passions in life. So what happened after you got launched from the house? What
Sure,
what things were you
sure.
interested in? What did you learn?
Sure. So I have to say, I was kind of like crabby as a little one. And, later my mom's like, oh, yeah, now I get why. But then as I got older, when I got to college and I saw there were a large, diverse group of people at a, state school in Missouri, I was like, oh my gosh. And I just like, had a great time. Like, I started, like, kind of, coming into my own, and I had big groups of friends, and I dated for the first time because I also, in those years, I didn't have a boyfriend. I didn't get to go to prom. I didn't get to go to homecoming. I didn't get to participate in any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was really fun in college. And my dad, he said to me, I got good grades and when I was in high school, and he goes, Ellen, you're getting like B's and C's in college. And he goes, I feel if you really apply yourself, you could maybe get A's and B's. And I remember sitting at the kitchen table going, but Dad, I'm having so much fun. And I get to like party and hang out with all the people and play soccer and do all the stuff. And like B's and C's are okay. And my dad's
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
And it's like you don't go for a job interview and they go, "Let me see your report card."
Right,
Yeah.
right, very true.
The
So yeah,
daddy's
so
worried about
I got him up a smidgen, but
I love that. I think I could see myself as
Yeah.
a parent doing that.
Dad,
Yeah.
get this great social life.
Yeah. So what did you major in?
So I ended up majoring in mass communications, public relations, minor in marketing.
Perfect.
So, yeah,
Perfect.
I liked speech class, and
Yeah.
so then I was like, "Okay, I'll just kinda go down that path a little bit."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So I've been reading a great book lately by a man named Dale Mast. Let me get his quote right. It says,
Mhm.
"It takes a Goliath to reveal a David." And I like that one because I had a lot of Goliaths growing up and through my whole life.
Yeah.
So what have been some of your Goliaths? And I will say, I love the way he frames that. It takes a Goliath to reveal a David
Mhm.
because we always go through those hard times and we're just like, oh, why does this have to happen to me? And
Yes.
this just almost reframes it. Like, bring it on.
Mhm.
I'm going to find out what I'm made of.
Mhm.
So what things happen to you because you definitely are made of something. It just kind of falls all off of you when people meet you, they're like, "That girl's got her act together." So what
Oh my
kind of
gosh.
things like what were your Goliaths?
Mhm. So I would say there are really 2. I would say one in my earlier years, and I equate it to back to my parents, I would say, of teaching us that there actually is right and wrong. And so the way that people were treating me, I'm like, "It's just wrong." Like, it's just wrong, and it's so clear to me, like, there's right and there's wrong, and this is wrong. Like, you treating people, being mean and being disrespectful, it's just wrong.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those things where it's like and I was in high school, and my mom got called up to the school yet again, and she was like, "Ellen, can you just agree with the teacher?" And I go, "But she was wrong. Like, she was treating me or somebody else in the class differently, and there's right or wrong, and she was wrong." And so my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, okay." And so it's one of those things where I'm sure, like, in hindsight, they're like, "I'm glad she had an independent mind," but on the other side, they're like,
Yeah.
"Was she just like" So I say that because I think just kind of knowing that right or wrong gave me the energy to kinda, like, push back, but I remember it was the teacher and getting kicked out of brownies, Girl Scouts, whatever, because I spoke back. And so it was one of those things where I think that was a little bit of a moment, but more probably relevant and more appropriate for today is a defining moment I had with my boss. And so I was in my mid to late 40s. I was working at Harvard Business Publishing. I had been there for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. I was doing quite well in my job. I had great colleagues. I had some awards on a shelf over here, like, we're on a one-on-one one day, and his name is David. And David
How
says to me
funny
I
is
know,
that?
right? And
Wow.
David is at least 10 years younger than me at the time, or still, but
Yeah.
at the time, he's probably in his mid to late 30s. And he says to me, what do you want to do with your career? Like, are you happy doing the job that you have? Do you want to do more? Do you like aspire to do more? And since I always just kind of plugged along, like, I think I'm good at this, so I'll go do this. And I just kept moving and moving and moving down that learning and development path. And I go, I don't know, I kind of like it okay. And he, this was before we had all the video call stuff, right? So we're on the
Right.
phone and he says, "You're the best on the team, and everybody in this company thinks you're average." And I remember going, "What?"
Yeah.
And I remember, like, silently crying. It'll make me cry now. Like, I remember, like, not doing the sob thing because I also can do the ugly cry, but, like, I just remember the tears coming down while I'm on the phone, and I was so happy that he wasn't looking at me.
Yeah.
And, he said, "Yes." And he goes, "You're the best on the team, but nobody knows it."
Mm.
And so he was like he started talking me through and asking me questions about things like passion and purpose and all of that stuff. And so then, that was a true defining moment, and that literally completely 100% changed the trajectory of my career and my success moving forward. Like,
Wow.
100% changed the trajectory. And so I'm still friends with him today, and so I text him and call him every once in a while, and he always and this is his standard response. It's probably like an auto reply, "Not surprised. Not surprised." I'm like, "David, I was able to." He's like, "Not surprised." And I'm like, "But I was. I am
Yeah.
surprised." And so he's like, "Yeah, not surprised."
That's so
Mhm.
cool.
And so
Me.
I try to think about what were those things, those 2 or
Yeah.
3 things that literally were an aha for me, and can I ever share those with anybody else so they don't have to wait till they're 48? And I shared those with my husband, and we read the same book at the same time, and we started doing the things, and I asked him last year, I said, "So, like, if we had met David sooner, or if we had learned these things sooner, like, let's say right out of college, let's say we were recruited right out of college and we got mentors and all the stuff, which neither of us did." He goes, "We would be where we are today at least 15 years earlier." And I go,
Wow.
I that's the exact number I would have put on it. Mhm. So completely changed their trajectory.
I bet that changed your passion and your purpose.
It absolutely did, and I wasn't even sure what it was. I was like, "What is my purpose?" He was like, "So what do you wanna do in your career?" I'm like, I didn't have an answer." And so I was like, "I like this training thing," like, and so
Yeah.
he had me interview he said to interview 3 or 4 people and just ask them one question, what are your key strengths?" And he goes, "Only give 1 to 3, like, give 1 to 3, like, one-word answers. Don't need a narrative, just ask 3 or 4 people, what are your key strengths?" And so I did. And so then I came back and he's like, in old school, write it on the left side of the paper. So I'm like, write it on the they said this, they said this, they said this. And so, and then he added a couple. And so he says, draw a line down the middle. And now on the right hand side, he goes, write your passions. So I thought he meant work wise. I'm like, oh, I really like instructional design. He goes, no, 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 no. Like, what are your passions? I'm like, "Oh, like sports. I love all things true crime, like Dateline Steve Morrison. That's my jam."
Yeah.
So I'm like writing that down. And so I'm writing all this stuff down. And he says to me, have you ever thought about going into like diversity and inclusion and belonging and equity work? And I was like, no. And what on earth would make this say that? And he goes, because the sports say you're competitive. That means you got up at 5 a.m. to do practice before school, after school. And he goes, you like true crime because you care about justice.
Mm.
And I was like, what? And I was like, oh my gosh." And so then I started rethinking, so what can I do next or what should I do next? And so that's what kind of changed it. But that was just the step to identify my purpose
Right.
because I didn't even know if I had one, what it was. My brother, from the day he could read at like, honestly, at like 3, he's reading books. And I'd be like, let's play. He's like, no, I'm reading. He knew all along he wanted to be a literary professor or a writer, right? Like, that was his purpose. That was his
Yeah.
purpose, that was his purpose. Me, I wasn't sure.
Right.
And so for people that are like me, that you maybe have some gifts or you're skilled at some things, here are your strengths, but you're not quite sure exactly what, that exercise really helps. And so it's like, okay, so now how do I think about this differently? And how do I leverage my strengths to do some really cool stuff?
Yeah. Because it's like if you don't know what you want, you're not gonna get there.
Right. I just kept plugging away with my little trophies over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did he ever say how he learned all that?
You know what? He didn't, and I didn't ask him, and now I'm really curious because now I'm gonna go back and ask him,
Yeah.
and what amazed me was s the he was so, selfless in this, that it wasn't about him. He wanted to make sure that the people around him and people that he saw potential in, that he did give and share his gifts. And I think that he was so selfish in that, that it just amazed me that he would spend that amount of time
Mhm.
coaching and developing. And one of the things that I've learned, of course, as I continue to design leadership and
Yeah.
executive development is that, and somebody said it the other day in a session that I was observing, which is 60% of being a leader is inspiring and developing your people. And
Mhm.
so because when somebody said, "What's the key to your success?" And he's like, "First of all, it's 60% of your job is inspiring and developing your people, and assuming that you don't know it all."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Yes." And so David did a great job of inspiring me and giving me the tools that I needed to be more successful.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fun
Mhm.
story, especially when it
Yeah.
can be that life altering
Life
just by
altering.
figuring out your strengths, your
Mhm.
purpose, your
Mhm.
passion. If you love Insights with Marcia and you want even more, I have something for you. Go to my Patreon page, and there you'll be able to watch ad free episodes that come out early, bonus content every week, my personal show notes, and you may even have a chance to get your questions answered on the podcast. So for 5, 10, or $20 a month, we will keep this conversation going. So go to patreon.com/insights with Marcia, patreon.com/insights with Marcia. And let's have some fun. Let's keep the conversation going. I hope to see you there.
And it wasn't easy. Like I had been with that company like 7 or 8, 9 years at this time. So I had to literally go on an entire rebranding effort.
Yeah.
Like I had to rebrand myself. Like it ended up being like a whole thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. So what is your why? Why do you do what you do?
Mhm. So, one of my all-time favorite quotes is from Martin Luther King, and it goes back to my parents teaching us right and wrong, and it is, "The time is always right to do what's right." Because if not, and I am a faithful person as well, and so the time is always right to do what's right,
Mhm.
and I believe that, from a, godly standpoint, from just a plain humanity standpoint,
Mhm.
and so I do what's right even when it's hard.
Mhm.
I do what's right even when it's not in my best interest,
Mm.
because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Integrity is big for me.
Yes. 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 I I I totally agree with you on
Yeah.
that one. There's certain things I'm like, "Well, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be really happy with that, but
But
that is the right thing
mhm,
to do."
mhm. I
Yeah.
think in corporate, it's extra hard because you make business decisions that sometimes you may be impacted by.
Right.
And so but is it the right thing to do for the people, for the
Mhm.
customers, meaning the people like your employees, the
Yeah.
the teammates that you have, and the customers? And if the answer is yes, then you do what's right.
Yeah. And it's always gonna come out good when you follow that principle.
I
It's just hard at the time.
I know
It's like,
exactly, and you're
"Ugh."
like, "This doesn't feel good, but I know it's right." Yeah, 100%, 100%, yeah.
Uh, so
Mhm.
it sounds like you've got this down pretty good. What advice would you give people looking for their purpose and passion?
Mhm.
There's an audience out there. What can you tell them? Because they're all going, I
Sure.
want to know my purpose and my passion like she did.
Oh my gosh, first of all, I would say again, I was in my late 40s at the time, so it's never too late.
Yeah.
Absolutely never too late. And passion, or I'm sorry, your purpose is I also don't think one thing.
Right.
I think it can shift and morph based on how we continue to grow.
Yeah.
And the more exposure we get to new cool people, like things can change. So I don't want people to think they have to get it right. Like it has to be the exact perfect thing because I can never change it because that's not the case. But I do actually ask people to do the exercise and ask 3 or 4 people, and they need to be a variety of people. Somebody you work with, a friend, a family member, like that. And so an acquaintance, ask them to give you 1 or 2 or 3 of your strengths, and then think through what your passions are. And you're not going to do it in one sitting, but like start drawing the lines and then walk away for a while and then come back and talk it through with some of your confidants and be like, I think this is it. And then it'll kind of come together for you.
Yeah.
And so what I ended up really realizing is that I just want life to be as fair as possible for people.
Mm.
And so that's where that kind of the scales of justice come in, and I do believe that the time is right to do what's right, and I think people are really cool. Like, I like it when I walk in a room and I don't know anybody because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I get to meet people." Like, people are cool. People are unique, and everybody has really cool, unique features and experiences, and I think people are so cool, and so surrounding yourself with the right people, so that you can continue to learn and grow and just having just a respect for uniqueness,
Mhm.
is where I get to where I just kinda want life to be fair as much as I can
Yeah,
make it.
yeah. I like what you just said. In the program Naturally Slim, we talked about things like vital needs.
Mhm,
We talk about personality types, like
mhm.
about half the world's an introvert and half is an
Yes,
extrovert, and some are kind of right in the middle. And
yes.
it's hard to believe, but I'm an
Yeah,
introvert.
I
And I
believe
walk
it.
in that room and I'm like, ah, all these people, and I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
But I just love what you just said. I'm gonna walk in the room next time and go,
Mhm.
ooh, I wonder who's in here that I can learn something fascinating about. It
Yes.
reframes it.
It does, I think, reframe it, and, planning a 60th birthday party for my brother at the end of August.
Oh.
And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm afraid people are gonna be in pods. Like, this group is gonna talk to
Yeah.
each other because they enjoy each other, and this group." I said, "Oh, don't you worry. I got this. Like, I got this." Because I can't wait to go learn about these folks, and I'm 100% sure that they're gonna have something in common with these folks. And
Yeah.
so it's like, "Let's break it up a little bit." So I was like, "Don't
Yeah,
worry,
and
I
you start
got it."
kinda mixing them up.
Yes,
Oh,
because
I
it's
love that.
fun.
It
It's
is
like this,
fun.
this person says, let's say they're my brother, the college professor, so
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna have professors over here,
So is he an
right?
introvert?
Yes,
Okay. That's
and
why
I
he's
married
worried.
one too.
That's rare.
Yeah.
Usually one marries the
I know.
other.
So yeah, so yeah,
Oh.
so my brother is an introvert, and so he's very comfortable in front of a classroom because he's very knowledgeable about that subject matter. But the in a room full of people, not his thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that I will find something in these, with the professors. One of them is a film professor. One of the friends that's going loves all things movies. So it'll
Yeah.
it'll all work out, and we'll make connections.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's just how I look at it. It's just kind of cool.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do
You
that.
can do
Next
it.
time I go to a
Yeah,
party with a bunch of
yeah.
people I do not know,
Uh,
I'm gonna do that. I'm
sure.
gonna engage in conversation because I feel like you go stand up around 3 other people and you just go,
Hi.
"Hi,
Yes, I
hi."
know.
Yeah.
No, that can be a
So I
little
like that.
unnerving. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, so you also see, I'm just getting nervous
I know,
thinking
it's
about
fun.
it, like,
Yeah.
I can do that, I can
You
do
can,
that.
you can.
And, it's a bad way to be because 'cause it'll keep you from going to things, you
It
know?
will, and when you
It
talk about big events and especially, like, networking, people are like, "Oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
No, 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 no." It's like, "It's okay."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I'll call you next time I go somewhere. Give me the pep talk. Give me the pep
For
talk.
sure.
Oh, okay. I love when you say everybody needs a personal board of directors.
Yes.
I love
Oh,
that. It's like, I'm gonna start figuring out who my people are. So
yes.
tell me more about that.
Absolutely. So one of the things I learned, again, I would look over and be like, "But I got all the rewards." I'm like, I thought I was good at the thing, right,
Yeah.
that I do." And so what I thought would
Mhm.
happen in corporate was that, "Okay, I'm really good at this thing, and people will just see it and good things will happen." Nope, that's not how it works at all. And so what I learned was that you actually can't go it alone.
Mm.
And I realized that I had a personal board of directors in my personal life, just not in my business life. And I didn't even call it that at the time, but I was reporting into the president of Harvard Business Publishing at the time, and he actually said to me, "Who's in your personal board of directors?" And I literally was like, "Can I fake that I know what that is?" I had no idea what that was. And I was like, "Oh, I don't even I don't even know. I think I need to build what." I mean, I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
And so I immediately, like, Google it. And, of course, the Harvard Business Review article pops up, "Personal board of directors." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, of course, there it is." And so, I realized that you actually need to surround yourself with people that can provide you perspectives and insights so that you have the knowledge you need to show up in a way that
Mm.
people see you for your potential.
Mm.
because what people were seeing in me was this good work of this particular thing or this project. They're like, "Okay, so that goes back to the average thing. So Ellen's good at that thing," but not seeing me for potential or value that I can bring to the organization. I'm just good at that thing.
Mm.
And so you kinda get pigeonholed.
Mhm.
And so it's like having a personal board of directors does 2 things. 1, it provides you those insights and perspectives, and the personal board of directors is kind of like when your girlfriends, you talk about you have your tribe.
Yeah.
It's kinda the same kinda thing, you know? But you have people inside and outside of your organization. You have people that are, like, your confidants that you need to kinda, like, vent to. You
Mhm.
have people that are more knowledgeable about certain things that you are that can give you perspectives. You have people that you can that are really good. For example, in my world, I need people that are like our friend Rana, that are really good
Yeah.
writers that can, like, be like, "Does this presentation work? Poke holes in it, like, help me think this through." And so you surround yourself with these people that have different skills and different insights that you
Mhm.
and then you help each other. And so at first, I kind of felt like I was taking and not giving
Right.
back. And so
Yeah.
I would say things like to an executive editor at HBR, like, I have no idea what I could ever do to help support you, but here are my strengths.
Mhm.
And if I can ever be of service to you, like, let me know. And I'll be darned if periodically she didn't ping me. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, Amy called. Her name is Amy. I mean, like, I'd be all giddy. I'd tell my husband, Greg, oh my gosh, I talked to Amy today. Like, I couldn't believe she called me.
Yeah.
And she asked me for advice on something. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And so I say that because it's not cut and dry. I didn't go, would you be my personal board of directors? It is showing up, understanding what your purpose is.
Mm.
Here's my purpose, and here's what I'm trying to do.
Mhm.
You have these insights, you have this experience. I would love it if I could ask you a few questions or tap into you periodically for this or that. Would you mind? And so that's how you start building that. It's not a mentor, it's not a sponsor, it's surrounding yourself with people that give you insights. So I work for a company called McKesson, and
Mhm.
it's a very, very large company. There's 1 CEO and 10 on the executive team.
Mm.
I guarantee you, and they run that whole company with 10
Mm.
people, right?
Wow.
And so you're like, how can you do that? Because if you think of a CEO, he has a chief financial officer,
Mm.
chief marketing officer, chief HR officer. Like that, you don't expect that CEO to know it all. They surround themselves with people that have other expertise
Right.
to be able to run the company. So you think about it that way. So who's on your board of directors? Who's on your executive committee? Nobody that has the same skills I have because I'm already here.
Yes.
And so who do I need around me to help me be most successful and then reciprocate as well?
Yeah. And I would think most anybody would be more than willing to do that.
They are, and so that's what's amazing too. So I was surprised by that.
Mhm.
So I like listed out like here are some of the gaps I need to close. Here's some of the insights I need, perspectives I need. So I had a list of people and a table because I'm terrible at Excel. So I'm like, here are the people. Here's what I want to talk to them about, the purpose of meeting with them, and then et cetera. And then I just started firing off emails, and every single person said yes. And one of them picked up the phone and said, "Tell me what you're really trying to do so that I can come more prepared." I was like, Okay." And so I found that just most people like helping other people.
They do.
And so the kindness was overwhelming to me, and there were many times where I hung up the phone and burst into tears. There were times where I hung up the phone and actually would topple out of my office chair on my
Mhm.
knees just thanking God that I can't even believe that this person gave their time. It'll make me cry and, like, gave me such guidance and insights that was so invaluable. And so it just is amazing to me that I was able to kind of take that board of directors and still
Yeah.
leverage it to this day.
Yeah. Yeah. So something, from Dale Mass's book about What's Your Goliath, he also talks about we need to step into that new identity.
Yes.
So did you see yourself you're definitely you've taken on the identity now.
Mhm.
Did you see it as kind of a slow progression or anything?
Mhm.
Any thoughts on that?
It sure was, absolutely, and that's where I kind of, I had to go kind of through a rebranding effort because this is the new Ellen. The old Ellen that did this project thing, that's not who I necessarily am or really wanna be,
Yeah.
and so you absolutely need that, and I think that's where that personal board of directors and some of these people help. So, even one of my peers, Erica, I remember, like, just making sure that I show up in a way that in the way that I'm speaking, in the way that I'm presenting, and showing up in a way that is truly representative of not only who I am today, but more importantly, who I wanna be.
Yeah.
And so coaching me through that and giving me advice and not making me feel bad that, you know, I don't know, my necklace was twisted or I don't even know what it was, but like not making me feel bad, but just help encouraging me and showing me kind of like what good looks like. But
Yeah.
I say that because I mean good inside and out, not just I use the
Mhm.
necklace thing as an example,
Yeah.
but it's really surrounding us yourself again with people and showing up in a way that people do see you
Mhm.
for the person that you are and can continue to grow
Yeah.
into.
And I think they also speak it into you, like him going, you seem average, but you're the most important person on this team." So
Yeah.
he spoke it into you and
Mhm,
gave you something to aspire
mhm.
to, and I think that
Yes.
personal board of directors is probably that way.
Yes.
You know, I know, like,
Correct.
with my grandkids, I'll go and I mean it, if y'all are listening, I mean it. "You're the best baseball player on that team." You gotta give them a reputation to live up to, and same thing
Mhm,
with us. When people call that out in us,
mhm.
then we know the identity we wanna step into, and he called that out in you.
Absolutely, and you're exactly right, and so one of the things that I think helps is, again, how we show up and how we even introduce ourselves, how we articulate what we do, and so I was at a networking event, one of those, like, networking where you're like, "Okay, I don't know anybody," and so, I always call it like it was a
The one
speak.
where Marsha walks out the door
Yes,
and you stay?
exactly, and I'm
Okay.
going, "Yeah, let me see how many people I can meet." Totally, totally. So, in this instance, it was a lot of executive women in the room, and this was literally like I'm working through my who I wanna be when I grow up, even though I'm kinda grown, and so there was an executive that I was like, "Oh, I really meet with her," and I'd done my research, and I'm all ready, and she says to me and I'm waiting in line to meet her, and I meet her, and she says to me, like, who I'm, I say my name, I'm Ellen Bailey, et cetera, and she's like, "So what do you do?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, I work for Harvard Business Publishing," and she actually says to me, "Stop talking." She goes, "Tell me what you do." And I go so I'm trying to, like,
Analyze the
now I'm
question.
panicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm, like, frantically trying to shorten it, right? So I'm like, "I design leadership solutions for" and she goes, "Hi, I'm Ellen Bailey, and I make leaders Harvard smart."
Boom,
I
boom.
was like, "Oh." That's it. So I say that because when you're talking about your identity, you need to think through again. So how can I even articulate it in a way that other people see it and get it, so that I can continue to grow and work with the right people and be around the right people and all of those things.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm,
Okay. You're training a lot of executives.
mhm,
Tell me what kind of things you're having to teach them or train them that you're kinda like, "Oh, okay, well, let me explain that
mhm,
to you." I mean,
mhm.
I'm sure you've got some great stories without giving away the names.
Sure.
Tell me some fun stuff around that, because
Yeah.
that's fascinating to think you're getting to train the top dogs.
It's a lot of fun, I
Yeah.
have to say. It's a lot of fun. And when I think about what really is the difference between what I see the people that are most successful and the ones that aren't, and when I was at Harvard, by the way, I did a lot of training of corporate clients, right? So all over the globe. And now at McKesson, and there is one consistent trend.
What?
And the ones that are killing it don't profess to be the smartest ones in the room,
Oh.
period.
Wow.
And they are the ones
Wow.
that surround themselves with people that know way more about all the other stuff than
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
And then most critical to that is then you have to trust those people.
Mm.
Because if you keep making the call, even when they've told you otherwise, then you might as well not have them there. And so it is 100% black and white, red or blue, top or bottom, distinct difference in any corporation. The people that don't profess to know it all, that trust the people that they surround themselves with,
Yeah.
that's what makes them successful. And the quote from the gentleman on Thursday that said 60% of being a leader is inspiring and developing your people.
Yeah. Yeah, and leaders are really servants. Those who lead are servants.
Mhm.
Wow,
Mhm.
and now you're saying they've got humility too.
Humility is the exact right word, and so the ones who demonstrate that, and I heard a guy speaking the other day on a podcast, and he tickled I actually laughed out loud because he goes, like, "I'm human too, and I'm on with my team, and I'm, like, really frustrated with them, and I just snapped." And he was telling it, and I don't think it was Simon Sinek, but it was somebody like that, and he's on this podcast. He goes, "And I just snapped, and I yelled at him, and then I got off the phone," and he goes, "Later, I was like, okay, I gotta go back and rebuild that trust
Mm.
because now I scared them and now nobody's gonna say anything and I actually need them." And so it's just that level of humility that nobody's perfect. We're gonna get it wrong. The amount of times I've stepped in it and just gone, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And I've learned from that and I get it. And thank you for your grace and all this stuff. But those are the fun leaders too.
Yes.
They're not just the good ones, but they're the fun ones because those are the ones you want to work for.
Yes.
Those are the ones you want to work with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you've got their back.
Yes, absolutely.
They only realize.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
I'm a nurse practitioner, but before that, I did labor and delivery. And there was, a Dr. Helling, he's since passed away, but we would be, like, running around like crazy women. This one's crowning, this one's giving birth, this one needs a stat C-section, and we're like
Yeah.
And Dr. Helling would sit there in the nurse's station and answer the phone for us, take notes for us, just do anything, bring something in the room for us.
Yes.
Not a single other doctor was that way. They would sit there and write their chart notes, close the book, and walk out while we're
Yeah.
all drowning.
Mhm.
Everyone totally respected Dr. Helling, loved him to death. The other ones, because excuse me, but doctors, or at least in my day, can have an attitude.
Sure.
And it's just that being humble and being willing to help, and you're not God's gift to that organization or anything. You're
No.
just right there with everybody else.
Yes.
That's gonna carry to me, that's a smart person.
It
That's gonna
absolutely
carry you
is.
further in life than the one that's all, I don't have
Uh-huh.
time to answer your phone. I gotta get back to the
100%.
office or something.
And I think that goes back to the core of who I am as an individual and what I love to see. Like, not any one person is better than another. We're
No.
all in this together. We're all trying to be successful personally and professionally. We're all trying to be good friends. We're
Mm.
trying to be good spouses. We're trying to be good people. And so it's not a zero-sum game. We can all help each other and respect each other and be successful. And it actually just seems that simple to me.
Yeah.
And I get criticized often for oversimplifying it. I'm like, no, I really
It's
think it's really just that simple.
It is that.
That
It
will
is
also
that
help when you
simple.
go in the big giant room of people because you're like, okay, wait, we're all just here doing the same thing.
And that guy's
So-
not any more important than I
No, we're all
am.
just here to help and
Yeah.
help each other ideally.
Yes,
Yeah,
and when you help each other, it's
Mhm.
gonna come boomerang right back to you.
it sure will.
Well, I can ask this question because it's gotten easier for me now that I don't have kids at home anymore, which is what kinda are there any certain habits you've developed, personal or business-wise, that just help you stay centered, be who you wanna be? Like, I'm able to have quiet time in the morning now.
Right.
That didn't happen for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you developed any kinda habits you could share with us that help you be who you are?
Sure. I will say
A
there are
routine, yeah.
Yeah, there are kind of two things that rise to the top, and I am embarrassed and not embarrassed to say this. I have to put it in my phone as a reminder to force me to pause. So at noon every day, I have a reminder in my phone that says pause and pray
Oh, I like that.
because I am a like on the what do you call it? Strength Finders number 2 is empathy for me.
Yes.
So like I am empathetic, I'm emotional, I can get caught up in this stuff.
Yes.
And so I just have to pause. Just pause, take a deep breath, say a little prayer, and it just kind of centers you for the day. So if my morning was chaotic and it got off the rails, it
Mhm.
forces me to just pause and center.
Ooh, I love that.
And something that we did during COVID, Greg and I, is that we would end our day, and life was so hard then. Work was hard because everybody's virtual, right? Uh, do you have the food you want or need?
Yeah.
Life is just crazy hard, right? I ran out of masks, like the thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so we would every night, unless there was like a super high or a super low, we're actually not talking about the stuff.
Ooh.
We're not going to talk about COVID. We're not going to talk about work. We just need to, like, center around something that is fun, that is enjoyable, that, whatever it might be that we like, a book you read, something you saw on TV, I don't even care what it is, but unless there's an extreme high or low, we're leaving it in the office, we're gonna not watch the news today, we're just gonna try to have it and we might turn on the news later to, like, see what's happening, but,
Yeah.
like, at least that dinner time is just non-stress, fun, recentering, regrabbing
Yeah. Recentering.
recentering time, yeah, so you kinda
So
maintain that foundation.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm,
So I also like to ask people because I feel like gratitude is so important.
mhm,
It's just it changes our whole mental attitude. It attracts what we need. So what are you
mhm.
grateful for?
I would say absolutely everything.
Ooh, I like that.
Absolutely everything. I don't think that I own anything that I've done. I feel that, you know, people are brought I have people around me that help me be better. I don't take credit for any of the things that I've done. So I'm grateful for absolutely everything. But what I will say too, back to your point, is I also find that when I am struggling, I'm like, that's the time I need to either volunteer or write the bigger check. Because it also reminds you just how fortunate you are because I don't have to worry about food in COVID. I
Yes.
may not have exactly what I want, but I'm actually gonna be okay, and others actually aren't.
Mm.
And so I think the gratitude thing is good to give back. Um, but I would say the other second quote, the time is always right to do what's right. I truly live by that quote. The other one that helps me stay grounded is the word I was looking for earlier, which is a Nelson Mandela quote, and he says, "I never lose. I win or I learn."
Ooh,
And
love it.
so even on those days where I have made a grave mistake and my boss has given me super hard feedback, I am like, "Thank you,"
Mhm.
because that's exactly what I needed so I can grow and be better tomorrow.
Yes.
And so it's that growth mindset that always learning that is, kind of who I am to the core, like, you never, like, check the box. There's always room to be better.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, is there anything else you wanna share?
Gosh, no, that was great, so
That
thank
was
you.
fun. Fun, fun, fun. You have definitely found your purpose and your passion. I love it, and that's what we wanna do with this podcast is help people find purpose and passion by visiting with people like you who have definitely found it, and it's a great place to be, and, I believe everybody was put on this earth for a certain purpose,
Agreed.
and we weren't given that purpose not to be able to find that purpose. Yeah,
That's right,
yeah,
so we can do it.
so we can do it. So thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next time for Insights with Marcia.